Actually, when I was thinking how nervous I would be, I did think I'll just read it like the way I did when I read it to Katie originally. So I'll just pretend everybody's not here. So this is the moment when Rose and Natalie find the diary. He comes to me in the dark, she whispered. He smells kind of, like fish and chips at Hornsey. He said last night that he'd meet me in here near the boxes. She had pushed 4 cardboard boxes together as if to form a barricade on each side, but she'd let me in. I loved that she was talking to me again so freely, so excitedly. I didn't care how cold it was. It was just us two sharing stories once more, like in the book nook. You know him anyway, so stop being silly, she said. It's the man in the brown suit. He saw you at the hospital. I sat back on my heels. If I had imagined the familiar stranger, his whiskers against my cheek, then how was he inside Rose's head too? He might not come if you're here, Rose said, and the moment was over. She looked away, crossed her arms, difficult again. I looked back at the shed door, swinging back and forth on rusty hinges, and I realised something. How did you reach the boat? I asked. I didn't, she said. He said he'd undo it for me. I shivered. Beyond the open door, soft light fell hard. November's morning haze gave the grass a contrasting sharpness, its overgrown blades uneven, angry. I'd meant to cut it one last time in October, but winter had crept upon me like old age. Rose, I grabbed her small hands. Your fingers are blue and you haven't eaten since yesterday. I'm sure the man in the brown suit would want you to come inside. You think I'm stupid, she said. I shook my head. Not at all. I realised she had something hidden inside her onesie. It was book-shaped. I smiled. Was she going to start reading again? What's that? I asked. She crossed her arms over it, ignored me. Did you take that book I said you couldn't read? I asked. You get all the best books, she snapped. Give it to me. No. Now, I demanded. He said you'd want it. Who? I heard the phone ringing on the table and called to April to get it for me. Give me the book, I said, sweeping away cobwebs that dangled by her hair, and I'll make you anything you want for breakfast. Anything at all? The book, I said. My knees were damp from the rotten floor. She pulled it out and handed it over with a scowl. April shouted from the back doorstep, It's Jake on the phone. Dad, cried Rose, leaping to her feet. This man was more important to her than the nameless one who appeared in the dark. She pushed me aside and raced back to the house. I called up the garden for April to let Rose tell her father that she was okay. Then I looked at the book. It wasn't the one full of bad words. Bound in leather as dark as rosewood, cracked like it had been sitting in the sun too long. It was smooth, but in my hands it felt heavy, as if it contained every story written. Where had she found it? One of the boxes was open. Dust and damp patches and stains covered the cardboard like the land and seas on a map. I looked inside. On top were birthday cards bound with a rubber band. I opened one. My handwriting filled a page, each different coloured letter bigger than the one before. I remembered how I felt I must fill each space when I was little. I rummaged further, found familiar photos of Christmas and school days, and strange items like an envelope of old stamps, a weather-worn wallet, and a lock of hair tied with parcel string. I realised it was the box I'd been given when my grandma died 7 years earlier. Too sad to look inside, I'd asked Jake to hide it somewhere, anywhere. I hadn't cared where. I looked again at the book. 2 thick ribbons tied in multiple knots meant the pages were impossible to open. I fiddled a little and then gave up and turned it over carefully, like I'd just found a prize. The only thing differentiating the back from the front was in the bottom right corner. 2 ink initials, C.A. Colin Armitage. I smiled. Find the book. I knew I had. Right, Carrie, the wonderful local singer. She's going to perform a couple of songs for us. One of them is a song called 1,000 Years, which she has actually learned for the occasion because the lyrics really fit the novel. And she's also going to perform a couple of her own, which are from her gorgeous new album called What If, which is available now. There's an example on that table. So I'll hand over to Carrie Martin.